Maybe if you think about a soul, it feels like it's more than just memory. It's the spirit and essence of what a person was in life.
It's like total stillness, but also complete expansion and limitlessness.
It's about this big and weighs 3 ounces.
It's just pure energy.
Soul seems so much deeper than a personality. A personality seems so...
Personality comes from the Greek word persona, which means mask.
Almost with your social face.
Every person you see is a different mask, and we have all the appropriate masks for all the appropriate occasions.
Asking the question, what is the soul, presupposes almost that it's a thing.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things that I've heard and read about where the soul comes from.
Perhaps our souls aren't just created in creation. Maybe it's a combination of old souls.
You're born with a portion of it, but I think that you can also gather it from other places.
All of the life on this planet is from the same source, whatever it is.
You take some energy from something else, and your soul increases in power.
One expression I heard one time where the fish was swimming around in this ocean, and he was saying, where's this ocean everybody keeps talking about?
Well, that's $1 million question, right?
You're asking me to define something that is undefinable.
For me, it ranks up there with kind of like Sasquatch or UFOs. It's this thing that I think is probably out there, and the fact that it's out there, actually, I like that idea.
The objects that I had the people bring, you know, would not be less necessarily part of something you'd see in a traditional natives vision quest process. Obviously, what you have seen here is an example of modern seekers finding their way in this eclectic world.
Before we go, I wanted everyone to tell me about your items here.
I had trouble finding an object that represented the spiritual, a connection to the spiritual, and the only connection I could think of was music. It's a conduit.
They brought an object that signifies what they're moving towards in life, what their goal is, or their desire, their intention. They brought an object that signifies what they want to release or let go of.
This is to represent what I want to let go of. I think my whole life I've sort of created a shell around my heart.
They also brought an object that signifies a source of spiritual strength, and an object that signifies their source of strength on earth, like people and places and things like that.
The other things are both of these. So the first one is a Nepali angel that my wife had made for me. Because without her having met you, I wouldn't be here.
When asked to articulate it, they encounter much more than they thought. It really starts when they recognize something inside them is missing.
I see a lot of people walking around that are definitely not here.
There's a desire to find balance, to seek something greater.
You know, back in ancient times, people understood that our head gets in the way and the words that we are begin to confuse us. Whenever I sit by myself, I begin to realize that the noise in my head was overwhelming me to the point where it was starting to block me.
A healer or a medicine person is in these places and connecting with those kinds of, you might call them beings. For Don Lorenzo, that would be a time where he is able to connect through his intuition and his experience of energy with a sense of guidance.
The challenging part of this type of a quest is to be able to just surrender to the experience. The old ones remind us, they tell us to be cautious of anyone that talks a lot. We have a saying, think twice before you speak. And then don't say anything.